or specifically that halftime show. Man, that was disgusting. So we're going to break down the game, talk about what happened, the surprises, who the MVP should have been in this game. I'm going to stand by this one. We're going to talk about what is going on with the halftime show and what is going on in the future, potentially for these teams. So with that, bringing in my boy, John Bettenborman, and the terror from Teterboro, Jim Trafficante. What's going on, gentlemen?
Show me the money, baby. Show me the money.
Did you get that Venmo payment?
I already did.
Good for you.
He sent it to me, I think, before the game even ended.
I can't wait to hear, and I hope Travis joins us today because I can't wait to hear. He was so convinced of how that game was going to go, giving you a 10-point spread.
Maybe I should have given him 21 points. It would have made it so much more closer.
It would have been more exciting. So, so like I said, I'm so glad that game was over because, one, I'm glad Patrick Mahomes made it out alive, and two, that halftime show was hard to watch. So I'm so glad that those are both over with and done. I hate that the football season is over. It makes me sad that we've it's run its course and now we're in the off season. But man, that game was not close to what we were predicting. I mean, just an ugly football game.
Yeah, I mean, what was the line on the Chiefs not scoring a touchdown? What were the odds on that? What were the odds on the Chiefs not hitting double digits?
I can't even imagine.
80
I can't
to
imagine.
1? I mean, what was it? Come on.
1,000? 1,000 to 1 probably.
Imagine having like 10 grand burning a hole in your pocket and just saying, you know what? What's the most absurd bet you have besides the punter like scoring a touchdown? That would probably be the most absurd one.
Yeah.
But the next one would be the Chiefs not scoring a touchdown or double digit.
Right. I wish I would have saw that because I did a couple of prop bets, but I didn't think about could the Chiefs not score a touchdown?
Yeah.
No.
Not when I had them winning 34-31.
Exactly. Of course not.
No.
I'd love to see if anybody actually put any of those bets out there like that.
I'm sure somebody did. I mean, I'm sure we can probably Google it and maybe see if, the most absurd Super Bowl bets there was. But, I mean, it has to be few and far between, maybe for like $10 or $100 from people like us. Because, I mean, the odds are just so I mean, the Rams didn't score a few years ago, you know what I mean? And nobody really expected that, but that's more believable than the Chiefs not scoring a touchdown. You know what I mean?
Right.
The Chiefs are going to get 3 field goals and that's it. Come on. I mean,
no, you're not.
You could retire with those odds.
I know. Yeah, you could.
Come on.
You could.
Oh, it'd be insane.
Come on.
Oh, I hated that game. I just hated it. But, like we were talking about, though, we were saying, and I think we nailed it perfectly, was that for the Bucs to win this game, it was going to be the defensive line was going to destroy Patrick Mahomes, and it happened. I mean, that defense played lights out, and I'm going to allude to it, but it should have been the MVP should have been on that side of the ball. But that team, Patrick Mahomes. So the stat that I wanted to share with you guys that I was saving, Patrick Mahomes ran for 497 yards yesterday away from defenders. 497 yards. He was running behind the line of scrimmage to avoid sacks. That's insane. Insane.
Come on. That can't be true.
497
You can't make
yards.
stuff up when we're live.
JPP probably accounted for about 350 of that.
Right.
I mean, that side of the ball, I mean, the linebackers, Barrett, White. I mean, the D-backs, even when Mahomes was rolling out, when he was at his most dangerous, because, I mean, he is the most deadliest quarterback out there when it comes to rolling out and getting outside the pocket, everybody was covered. Everybody was covered. That whole D, I know we said the D line was going to be kind of the anchor, but it started with them. But boy, everybody jumped right on. I mean, that whole D as a whole, if I could give an MVP to the whole defense, I would. I mean, honestly, it's too bad they couldn't do something like that because I think it'd be pretty cool. I mean, but they
deserved it.
That D, God, I mean, that game was over. Think about it. That game was over in 5 minutes into the second quarter, score-wise.
Yeah, it was early.
It was 14, whatever, 14-3, 14-6 then.
Yep.
And it was done. Absolutely done. And you can see the frustration, like we were texting back and forth. I mean, players yelling, Chris Jones punching that guy in the face is what started the whole flag thing to me. Right after that, the flag started flying. And then the Honey Badger screaming at his coach. I mean, for like minutes on end, and I'm shocked the camera was on him the whole time.
Yep.
But he just looked like an asshole. He really, truly did.
Yeah.
And then it was like, wow. And after that, and I'm sorry, but you have 55 seconds left. I know we said it on a text. I want to say it again. You have 55 seconds left. You've scored 6 points in 29 minutes and 5 seconds. And you think you're going to call all your timeouts and score in 30 seconds against that D?
No.
Awful. They were overthinking. You know what it reminds me of? Teams that started overthinking against the Patriots when Belichick was the coach. Because that's what Andy Reid did, and you never seen it from him. You haven't seen this from him in 2-3 years. I'm sorry, but that team was undisciplined after a while. I mean, Jim, you called it. If they don't calm down, they're going to get flag after flag. And I'm sorry, once you get on that roll of blatant holds, I mean, the second half, I don't think they threw a flag. And I watched at least 7 holds on Kansas City, and that interception White should have had. I mean, that thing hit his hand, popped up, but they didn't review it. So right then I knew, I'm like, okay, somebody wants this.
Right.
The Golden Boy Chiefs, but they're kind of a dirty team. Now that I look at it, they're kind of a dirty team in a way.
Well, I mean, it's one thing to be, handsy, right? But as long as you're not holding, I have no issue with you putting your hand on a guy just to know where he is, because you're trying to make sure you're still within a body's length or whatever. But I do feel like when the second half started, they must have talked to him at halftime and said, hey, look, we've had all the weeks of, triple headers of playoff games where they let them play, right? Yeah. Let everything go. Just let it go. Let's see. As long as it's not totally blatant punch or something, let it go. And all of a sudden, they're calling every flag. I mean, and I thought there were a lot of flags that could have been called or could have been called the other way. I mean, there was a flag on Kansas City for holding, and then you see Evans grabbing a guy and almost throwing him to the ground, and the flag's on KC. And it's like, what?
Yeah.
How was that? And even with Mathau. I mean, there were a couple of penalties on him. I mean, he had the interception, but there was a holding, which was okay. He kind of was around his neck.
That was JPP. He clotheslined him.
You have to do that. You have to do that.
Right, but JPP probably got clotheslined 5 times that game, and not one call. Not one call was on him. So and the one with
this play too.
The one where they tripped, but I get tripping in feet, but when your arms are reaching out to grab them and then trip them, that's not incidental contact.
Maybe he was trying to catch himself.
Yeah, no, he was. Yeah, sure he was. I'm sure he was trying to catch himself, but I mean, of course, that's what he's going to tell you. But I mean, again, they didn't replay hardly any of these calls. That interception with White, that ball hit the guy's hand and he caught it. He would have ran that back for a touchdown.
Right.
And they blew it dead the second it hit his hands. So they couldn't even review that. So, I mean,
that didn't hit that hit the ground.
Yes, it did. No, it didn't.
It hit the one where the female ref called it immediately?
Yes.
It hit the ground.
No, it didn't. I'm telling you right now.
You got to get HD on. Get an HD TV. You'll see it.
I'm telling you, it hit his hand. It showed right after. I mean, but calls wise, I'm sorry. If we're gonna say 2 flags cost that game, you know what? They couldn't have called that, and they still would have won by 7. You know what I mean? It wasn't clean. It hit the guy's hand. It never hit the ground.
I didn't think so. I saw it.
They didn't even review it. Didn't even take a look at it. So, I mean, I don't know.
You gotta give it to Mahomes though. I mean, with the turf toe, I mean, chased for
what'd you say?
497 yards.
That's unbelievable. Who kept track of that? Who was keeping track of how many yards he ran backwards?
They have that StatCast thing that just does it. Like it tracks how far they run, zigzagging around.
Right. He was running for his life. I mean, 3 guys
almost
had to change positions
every play.
Yeah. Cole Hike and run for your life. I mean, that's
but the throws that he were making.
Yes, still. Man. I mean, he was parallel to the ground, and he slings it, hits the guy in the face, and he can't catch it.
Mask.
You can't. Right. Come on.
That was a touchdown too, in the end zone.
In the end zone. In the end zone.
If
somehow
he
gets into his mask.
It would have stuck in his mask, I think, if his hands weren't up in the way. Yeah. It would have just bloop, stuck right in there. It would have been like a little Giants play. He would have been, oh, I got it.
I mean, how is that even possible to throw that ball at that angle with nobody hitting it, hit the guy right in the face? Yeah. It's unbelievable. The
other one where he just spun around and threw it, and it hit like right in the corner,
the pylon,
back corner of the pylon, and he dove with one hand and almost grabbed that ball with one hand.
Well, you saw what happened right before he reached out for it, right? Tampa was holding him all in the end zone, and then he comes across. How there wasn't a penalty on that play on Tampa in the end zone? Holden Pringle, I think it was, dive into the end.
Oh, sorry, Jim. The referee. We can't talk about that. We can't talk about that. That goes against the NFL guidelines.
I don't care what they say. The referee's right under the goalpost watching it. He's holding him. He's cutting across. Come on. I mean,
no, this doesn't benefit Tom Brady. We can't talk about it.
Oh, okay.
It can't happen because it doesn't benefit.
Tom Brady. So you whining fan.
The biggest one for me was Brady chasing Mathau across the field to yell at him.
No taunting though.
They throw a flag on Mathau for unsportsmanlike. How? He ran across the field after him.
And he just saying hello.
Yeah, that's what he was saying.
Oh, they're saying hello.
I mean, come on. How is that? He should be penalized today. They should be sending him a letter saying, well, here's a fine. You can't do that. Only he can, apparently.
So let's
I guess you didn't see that play.
Penalties.
Did you not see that play?
No, I seen it. Brady should have got flagged.
Oh, okay.
Of course he should have. But he didn't. Look, Brady over Matthew. Of course, Matthew's going to get it.
Well, they could have had offsetting, right? They could have both got the flag, and that would have been it.
I mean,
you only give it to the Chiefs.
Or how about the sack?
Yeah, that wasn't a penalty. Come on. It was a good sack. All three hit at the same time.
The sack where he came in with his hand and slammed him in the helmet.
What about that one?
Wait, which one are you talking about?
The sack where I don't remember who it was, came in from the side and just as Mahomes is going down, just boom, like just open and slapped him in the head. And Mahomes is like, what? Like pointing, like, come on, are you gonna do anything? No, 15 yards.
I thought that was the ball. I thought it was the ball. Okay. Like Roger Clemens against Piazza. I thought it was the ball. I didn't realize it was the back.
After Sue, Indomica Sue, JPP, and the other guy got flagged for that tackle when all three hit him just as he was throwing, and they called roughing the passer. It wasn't roughing the passer. It was roughing the passer because he came up limping. So what cracks me up is Mahomes runs all over Buffalo, destroys Buffalo. He has 2 weeks off, and we're going to talk about turf toe. Stop it. Just stop it. Okay. He was running like crazy that whole game. And then when he got Malachi crunched, now all of a sudden it's like, okay, we're getting a snot kicked out of us. Let me limp now. Let me limp so it shows
that he was faking it.
Please. He was running like crazy all game. He wasn't hurt.
I like the Malachi Crunch reference. I haven't heard that in a long time. Wow. The Malachi Crunch. Yes.
The Malachi Crunch.
Cow.
Joe, I don't know if you're old enough to watch that.
Joe doesn't know what that means.
I don't think so. No.
Go on
right over.
Yeah, right over. Go on Google. Check out Happy Days Malachi Crunch.
Oh, yeah.
It was Derby, right?
Oh, yeah. It was the Demolition Derby. Yeah.
Yep. Demolition Derby episode. I love it.
Wow. Crazy.
So instead of talking about penalties, because obviously that's what lost Kansas City the game, what about the fact Mahomes was 0 for 9 on third down? Does anybody want to talk about that?
No.
Listen,
you don't want to talk about that his rating was 68 or 55, whatever the hell it was.
Here you go, John. This is for you.
We're in here talking about practice. We're talking about practice. Not a game. We're talking about practice.
No, we don't want to talk about that.
I don't want to hear flags. I don't want to. I mean, look, Tampa's D.
No, Tampa's D won the game. There's no doubt they won the game, but they didn't need the penalties too. They were destroying KC. he had no time to think, to throw, to run, to look, anything. So they didn't need the penalties on top of it. They were destroying them. There was no way, in my mind, KC was coming back or KC was going to win the game. But they didn't need the penalties on top of it.
So we just let them do whatever they want.
Let them play. No, I mean, there was nothing that was blatant. I mean, right. Jensen likes to mix it up, right? So Jensen's in there doing what he does, and then he gets hit, and on purpose. And Brady laughs because Brady knows what he's doing. You know, and he's familiar, or he reminds me of the Giants center, because the Giants center is like that too. He wants to fight. He mixes it up with everybody. So I do like that about the guy, the Jensen that does that. But you know, like I said, they didn't need the penalties. They were winning. There was going to be no chance for KC with what the defense was doing.
And go back 2 weeks ago to Green Bay. Those guys were all over each other. That was one of the most physical games that you've seen all year. And then you go to this game and it's like, don't touch them. Don't touch them. Don't touch them. Flag, flag, flag. Like everything was penalties. That first half was like, every play, flag, flag, flag. Like, let these guys go.
Blatant though. I mean, you can't wrap your arms around people. You can't. Again, there's holding on every play. We all know it. I guarantee you, if you count the holds in that game, I bet you Kansas City had more than Tampa. Because for one, JPP's probably in a neck brace right now. That guy was getting choked all game long, and that was the only way. Falling on him, holding him. It was just like
95 yards, penalty yards.
Well, you get a pass.
There you go. There you go. That's a good stat right there, Mike. 95 penalty yards in the first half for Kansas City.
Yeah.
Most all year. And you save it for the Super Bowl. That's when you're going to say.
Let's do it now. Right. Let's do it now.
I mean, you can't take advantage of it either. I said it against the Green Bay game when what's-his-face was running across the middle, Godwin, and his shirt was stretching out 2 feet. And you guys were like, why did they call that? Of course they have to call it. Yeah. It's just so obvious. You have to call the obvious ones. Jim, I'm with you. Hands back and forth, they're not going to call that. But the second they did that, you know what? I love that you guys are I love this. This is why he's going to win next year, too. Man.
You know what I was afraid of? When they had the camera on Matthew on the sideline, and he was hot right before the half. Yeah. And they were trying to talk to him, and he's like, no, when he gets up running, I'm thinking, don't run at Brady. Because I really thought he was going to try and go after him and get thrown out of the game.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it looked like I must have had separate exits, right? They don't all go out of the same corner.
Yeah, they go out different ends.
Right. So I thought to myself, man, I'm watching because they only had the camera on Brady and Gronk and everybody leaving. And I'm waiting for him to come running in. I don't know, swinging. I don't know what he was going to do. But
I don't think he would have gotten too close to him, though.
No, but he was hot. And I thought, man, you got to calm down. You better jump in the shower at halftime and relax, because all of them, Breland and Matthew, and there was another guy that was hot too. And I was like, this. You can't lose your mind.
Jones was going crazy.
Too. Yeah, you can't lose your mind and then think you're going to keep it together. Come on,
right?
No way.
Very true. Very true.
Oh, I don't know, Alric. Do you? Anybody?
I do not.
Do we have a new viewer?
I know.
Very
What's
good.
up, Alric?
Hey, man! Thanks for joining.
Yep.
Thanks for joining the show and joining the conversation.
Yep.
And so, as much as I hate Tom Brady, and I told one of our buddies I'll never give him props for anything because he was on one of the best offensive teams I've ever seen in football this year. So it's not really fair to say he's the GOAT and he's the greatest. But Gronk came back to life in this one. I thought Gronk was just there to block, and it turns out he can still Gronk a little bit.
Breaking case of Super Bowl, man.
Did you? Do you think he just saved it all up for this game? That had all the energy that he had was just.
I mean,
stored for this?
He's been playing a lot each game as a blocking tight end, but not as a pass catching. I'm with you, but I mean the energy. I think slowly but surely he's getting his football legs back, because I mean he came back like 15 pounds lighter, didn't have a training camp, so he probably wasn't in football shape. You know what I mean? But now I think he's starting to hit the stride, and I mean he's been in how many Super Bowls? What, 5? That was his 5th. I want to say he was with 4 with New England and now 1 here. So, I mean, that adrenaline probably alone. And I mean, after that first touchdown, he looked like old Gronk again, jumping up and down, acting acting a fool, and him and Brady were on the same page again. It was a lot of fun to watch. I mean, it's sad not to see him in a Pats uniform, but I mean, I'm happy for both of them because they were such huge parts in New England. They really were.
So how do you think Kraft and Belichick feel seeing the guys go down there and win? I mean,
I'm sure
happy for them.
How does Patriots Nation feel?
Patriots Nation is happy for Brady. I mean,
I have such a hard time wrapping my mind around this.
So we've been talking about this forever. The Pats had no weapons. When they lost Brown and Gordon last year, they were 8-1. They ended up 12-4 and getting shellacked in the playoffs. They just did. That team was not meant to win on the offensive side. So Brady left. They had no money. They signed Cam Newton because they only had $1 million because that was before all the opt-outs. So they had no money to pay Brady. So they kind of had to let him go. I mean, was Gronk going to go back to New England with Cam Newton? Of course not.
No.
Absolutely not. They're both playing to win Super Bowls now.
Yep.
And they went to the perfect situation, unless Drew Brees retired and Brady would have been on New Orleans.
Maybe Brady's going to go to New Orleans next year.
No way. No way.
Tampa Bay is going to lose so many key players. They're not going to. They're going to be. They're going to be a shell of themselves. He's going to have to. He's going to have to go to a new powerhouse team, and that's.
Do you imagine if that's his new thing? 1 year deals and
winning Super Bowls at each team.
That's all he does.
Around. Who's got the All-Star team this year? I'm going there.
Right. So he'll go to New Orleans next year, and then maybe God forbid, Russell Wilson will get hurt. And then he'll jump over there for a 1 year, and then jump down to Dallas and play.
Kind of like LeBron, kind of like LeBron jumping back and forth.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think that's Michael stealing my thunder.
What?
God, great minds think alike.
Wow.
Damn it. I
would have made a good case, but I mean, we talked about this before. It's a quarterback kind of award. I mean, it really is. And Brady,
we talked about a defensive guy maybe getting it, though. I mean, they definitely wanted it.
Yeah. I mean, 21 out for 29, 3 touchdowns. He had no picks. I mean,
I'm with you there.
Yep.
Well,
I mean, really, the defense won it. I mean, too bad you couldn't
course
say,
they did.
Yeah, the defense, you're the MVP in total, in full, the whole team.
Right. But so maybe not one person gets a car, but they should all have the honors of being MVP.
Right. Absolutely. Tampa Bay defense.
That defense absolutely earned it. So, and I think
team car.
When you talk about, I mean, you look at the overwhelming to Ulrich's point, like the overwhelming favoritism for Kansas City, that sentiment was echoed almost across the entire NFL platform. Was Kansas City was going to win this game. Mm-hmm. Everybody thought it. John, you won a nice chunk of change off of the confidence of that prediction, but
he hasn't come on yet, has he? I don't see his name out there yet.
No, he paid. I mean,
as long as he paid.
I think we might have lost a fan now. Because thanks a lot. But yeah, it was just very. It was shocking. I mean, the way they came out and played, and you said it, they got in their heads so early in that game. Early in the second quarter, they were losing their minds.
Yeah,
they were so pissed off at that Tampa got in their head so bad in the second quarter that game was done. They couldn't think straight. Mm-hmm. They couldn't do anything right. Everything just piled on top of each other. And when it rains, it pours, and that's exactly what happened. I mean, everything that just the roof fell in on them, and that was the end of it.
Yeah. But I mean, so Alex saying KC was going to win, but they weren't playing hard. Man, that goal line stand against Jones, we didn't talk about.
Yeah,
I mean, I thought that was unbelievable. I mean, Jones is driving; he has 2 shots, and he can't get in. I mean, they stood him up, and it was almost like a 1-to-1 collision, and he just couldn't move anywhere. And then they just pushed him. I couldn't believe it. And I thought when I saw that, I thought, oh,
that was
here
the
it
turning
is.
point.
This is it. Now KC's going to take over. Yeah. And no, that's not what happened. But man, I thought that was really impressive.
Then? Why didn't they run Fournette?
I don't know. Speaking of Fournette,
confused me.
You're right. So speaking of Fournette, I mean, here's a guy looking for contact. I mean, this guy was on a mission last night.
Sure was.
I'm not going out of bounds. I'm running through everyone today. I don't care. Mm-hmm. I'm hitting people. I'm leading shoulders first.
Yes.
I mean, I couldn't believe. He broke out and what was it, a 20-yard run or whatever for the touchdown. Yeah. But all the other runs, and I think he only had 60 some odd yards. but man, just looking to make contact. I'm not going out. I'm going to run over everyone. And
Right.
I don't remember seeing him run like that, but man, he was on a mission. He was,
Yeah. And all the playoffs, he was like that.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
the
but
entire
this
playoffs.
week was
Playoffs.
I mean, it
talking
was
about?
just insane.
Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs?
He was a beast. He was a beast through the whole thing. And I'm excited to see what his contract's going to look like because he was just a 1-year ad too, right?
yeah. Where's he
Yeah.
going?
So
1 year
somebody's
ad.
going to pay him because he looked good. That playoff run, he was dominant, and that's the player you thought you were drafting. He got drafted 4th overall, I believe. So that's what you were expecting to see from him, and he showed it. He was.
I mean,
his attitude sucked in Jacksonville, and that's really what hurt him more than anything. But he looked good.
So let's look at Fournette's stats last year. All right, he had 75 catches.
They were good stats.
They were great stats. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a surprise that he looked like this. It was more of probably an attitude or didn't get along with the coach or management, whatever. But
Yeah.
I mean, Fournette is exactly, Joe, why you wanted the Jets to draft him a few years ago.
Oh,
I mean,
you
I remember
that?
when you want, absolutely I do. I remember that talk we had. You wanted Fournette. I remember texting during the draft with you. And I'm just like, man, you're letting like a top probably 10 back. I don't know if I'd say 5, but I mean, he had over 70 receptions on Jacksonville with
Jacksonville.
With Jacksonville.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he was probably the leading receiver and Tampa's the only one that went after him.
Yeah, makes no sense.
Come on.
Makes no
I mean,
sense.
he cleared waivers. How did he clear waivers that nobody wanted him? Something must have been put on the street that
he's a problem.
Maybe, yeah, he's a problem child somewhere. I mean, I don't know.
But come on, it's like kind of how the Jets were with Jamal Adams, and he's causing up a whole stink to get out of there. And Ngakoue did it to get out of there. Fournette ended up getting out of there, and it's both because of their attitudes, right? The players' attitudes. Turns out it's an organizational problem. Like the same, the Jets had Gase, and he destroyed that entire organization. Jacksonville, just there's internal problems that cause these outlying factors, and it's not necessarily the individuals. I still think Jamal Adams went out like a punk, but that's neither.
Well, they got a lot for him, so that's okay.
They did. Yeah. They're gonna get an outstanding running back with that pick this year. I'm super excited.
Oh,
Harris?
I didn't hear that.
You want Harris?
I want Harris. I want Harris. I want Zach Wilson and
there we go.
Harris.
See, they want to keep the band back together, boy.
Evans, I didn't know that. He's looking to do that already. Wow.
And that's from a guy who had 1 target and 1 catch yesterday. Godwin had 2 catches yesterday on 4 targets.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, talk about a team like atmosphere now on the Bucks. You know what I mean? And I'll tell you what, Brady did that. I'm sorry. I know they signed Gronk. I know they brought over Brown. Those are both because of Brady. They signed Fournette. Who knows? Maybe Brady had something with there. People want to go there and play. This is how it's going to be for Joe. That's why I said if the Jets were to sign, not to go. God, I'm talking about the Jets on a Super Bowl episode.
How?
But if the Jets, if the
Yes.
Jets were to go after Watson,
Oh my
that's
God,
the
every
same
week.
type of players you're going to get. You're going to get these guys that want to win, and they want to win with a quarterback. That's why you give up the farm, but it sounds like Houston's not trading him anyways. But anyways, back to Brady. How do Patriots Nation feel? Most people are very happy for him. Am I a Tampa Bay fan? I'm not a Tampa Bay fan. I'm not. I'm a Tom Brady fan. So if Tom Brady went to Cleveland, I'm going to say this. If Brady went to Cleveland and the Browns were in the Super Bowl, I would want Cleveland to win a Super Bowl because Brady plays on the team.
You just want that because you hate Baker Mayfield. Tell the truth. That's
I kind of do, and that's a damn good team over there, Jim. Team. But anyway, no, I mean, most of the Patriots Nation is pretty excited about it. I've seen a lot of Tom Brady jerseys today in work at Pratt. We got a couple thousand people there. I've seen Gronk jerseys all over the place. I already know what I'm getting for the Tampa Bay Patriot game next year when Tampa comes to Foxborough. In fact, Jim, if you want to come up and that may be a game we can hang at Foxwoods for the night before and maybe hit a Tampa New England game. Joe, why don't you fly your ass out here for work at TDY You get a TDY to peas.
Yeah, I'll see if there's.
Don't worry,
going
Jen
on.
doesn't watch. She won't know. Okay.
Hopefully, it's not a
You're-
Thursday night game.
Oh, Michael, you can't hurt my feelings today. You're a Jets fan. I get it. You're gonna cry
I still
wolf.
find it hard to think that these were your players. And my thing is everybody. Oh, Brady's definitely the GOAT now. If Brady's the GOAT per Patriots fans, then he could have done it with the team that you guys have. If he's the greatest quarterback of all time, he should have been able to win a championship with the Patriots,
chance.
right?
No,
I know it's no chance.
No,
But logically speaking, if he's the greatest of all time, why does he have to be on an absolute stacked team? That doesn't make you the greatest of all time. If he won it with the Patriots this year, I might have to change my tune. But Sam Darnold could have went to the playoffs with this team.
Well, I mean, Jameis Winston didn't.
He didn't have this team.
Okay, so he didn't have who? What, Brown? Gronk? Gronk had how many? Count how many receptions and touchdowns they had this year. Not many. Not many at all.
How much better?
Trust me, that team. Yeah, but who came?
Who was his running back?
Who
was
Jones?
Winston's running back?
Jones.
Yeah, didn't have Fournette, didn't have Brown, didn't have Gronk.
Okay,
didn't have Sue.
I would probably say the biggest contributor is probably Fournette out of all three, to be quite honest. As far as just production wise,
I don't think so because you can't. Because
so you're telling me that Winston would have won a championship this year with that team? No.
Well,
no.
Now you're not covering Evans. You're not double covering Evans. You're not double covering Godwin because you got Brown and Gronk and Brate out there.
I'm talking about with the same team. You think Sam Darnold's going to the playoffs with this team? Maybe playoffs, but he's sure not winning a Super Bowl.
I don't know. He might. That defense won the Super Bowl. Not so. I don't know. Stranger things have happened. But all right. So
I love this. Still hating on Brady.
Take a break from it and tell me what you think about that halftime show.
Worst ever.
Did you like what it was? Where was J-Lo and Shakira when you need them?
Yeah, I know.
Just
I had no issue with last year's show.
I didn't either.
That maze camera thing was one of the worst things I've ever seen on television. And I don't know who watched that and was like, we should do this. This is good. Without, I had to look away because it was actually like making me nauseous. It was spinning so much. I was like, this is terrible. And then like the jockstrap headband things that they were doing. Like,
I didn't understand that.
I thought it was going to be the Thriller video. So what is he going to do? Thriller from Michael Jackson? They all started moving around like the old video in the 80s.
Right.
Like, what is
but they're
this?
just bouncing off of each other and not really doing anything. I was like, this is
they were all
weird.
over the field. Yeah.
Yeah. The audio was weird. Everything about it was just very, very strange. I didn't.
Yeah.
Oh, it's terrible. But
what was surprising was I didn't realize how many songs of his I knew.
Yeah.
You know,
not that
I don't listen to it, but he sang one. It was like 3 or 4 of them. Like, oh, I heard this one too, but I don't know who he is.
Yeah, he's got some good songs. I thought it would be pretty good, but it was just
strange,
weird. It was really weird. But did you guys see that Cheetos commercial, by the way, that I was telling you about?
Yeah,
Ashton Kutcher. Well, I think that actually was one of the best commercials. Yeah, that was really good. Yeah. So they showed
there was a couple of weird ones. The guy talking about oat milk, singing about milk or something. Like, what is this?
You didn't
see that one? You guys playing piano or something? It's like milk, and it's oat milk, and it's for humans. And then the commercial ends. I'm like, what the hell was that? Was that a?
You paid money for this?
I have no idea. There were some bizarre ones, but yeah.
Oh, Manning, Breeze, Rodgers, Phillip Rivers, all would have won with that. Fitzmagic even.
Do you remember the team Manning went to in Denver? I'm guessing people forgot about that team.
He's talking about Eli.
Can't be talking about Eli.
Oh, I read it as Eli.
Jim, when it's Manning, it's automatically Peyton Manning. Come on, I think we all know that.
And you got to say congratulations to Peyton for getting walking into the Hall of Fame. Man, what a class.
Yeah. Him, Megatron, who else?
Woodson,
John Lynch.
Lynch.
God, he was a
so many good ones going in this year. Well deserved. Now, Peyton, even if not for his football presence, just his TV personality should have gotten him into the Hall of Fame.
I know.
He's great.
He's such a natural TV presence, and you wouldn't think it. You wouldn't think
Saturday
it
Night Live one when he's throwing
when he's pegging the kids. Oh, it's the best.
That is, that's great.
That's one of my favorite Saturday Night Live because he's so clean cut and he's dropping the F-bomb and they're blocking it out.
Man.
It is. It's great.
That was good.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
And Rodgers wouldn't have because he chokes. Rivers wouldn't have because he chokes.
Come on.
Yep.
Breeze has a good team. You can't say he doesn't. I mean, come on. And he has the best wide receiver and probably the second or third best running back in the NFL. So I don't think so. And Breeze,
there's no way Rodgers doesn't win with that team. Come on.
Yeah,
Rodgers has won the big game. He won the big game, and he didn't have many weapons.
One time.
One time.
Out of how many?
He's been in the league, 10, 11, 12 years?
And how many Super Bowls?
Years?
How many Super Bowls? So he was in one and he won it. Okay. He's 100%.
But see, that's the bad thing. Him and Joe Namath. Him and Joe Namath. I mean,
and Joe Namath are in the same class.
They're the same. They're exactly the same. They both
Eli Manning has more Super Bowls than Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, and Phillip Rivers. Actually, combined, they equal Eli because Brees has what, one? Brees has one. Rodgers has one. Peyton has two. Rivers has none because he just can't win the big game. And Fitzmagic, stop it. He can't even beat out Tua. I don't want to hear it.
Oh, poor Fitzy. But yeah, it's insane. If it wasn't for Brady, though, these winning a Super Bowl would be a high achievement. But he's fucking wins so many. Pardon my French. Sorry if there's kids listening. He wins so many that it ruins it for all these other good quarterbacks. Like, you win a Super Bowl, that's your goal. But he's terrible.
And not only does he win, they got to give him the MVP too.
Right, just because he's a terrible person.
Super Bowls.
He's a terrible person.
21 years.
Yeah. So
it's not a coincidence, my friends.
I saw another disturbing stat is Tom Brady's chances of going to the Super Bowl. His Super Bowl percentage is higher than Steph Curry's 3-point percentage.
Wow.
Oh God. He's got like a 40, it's like a 49% chance of going to the Super Bowl, and Steph Curry's got a 47% 3-point shooting percentage.
So
God.
So let's fast forward to next year. All right, let's fast forward to next year real quick.
Oh, wait, before we go to that though.
Yep.
We talked about this, and I don't want to miss it because we were talking about teams choking, and I don't want to forget about it. But we were talking about Andy Reid choking because that's what happened in this game, and I don't want to pass this before we forget about it. But Andy Reid is idolized as this amazing coach, right? But we talked about it in the pre-show. He got chased out of Philly because he kept losing in the playoffs, lost in the Super Bowl bad. They won it last year.
Four straight years too in the NFC Championship.
And they won it last year, and he finally got off that hide. And now again this year, 9 points. The most explosive offense in football couldn't score a touchdown in the biggest game. What is the? I mean, who is Andy
What does that
Reid?
do to the enemy too? What does that do to
true.
the enemy? Does that put a tarnish on him now?
He's the offensive genius.
Yeah, maybe that's why he didn't get hired.
It's just
the last 7 quarters that Tampa and Kansas City has played, Kansas City has scored 19 points. The last 7 quarters. You take away the first quarter of that insane Tyreek Hill first quarter, and Tampa has owned them. And we talked about that last show because they held them in check for those last 3 quarters of that game, and it carried forward. I mean, through this game. I mean, 7 quarters, 19 points. I mean, what's that an average of 8.5 points a game? I mean, it's not a lot. Bowles had them guys ready to play. He found something, and I'll tell you what, he had the right players to do it. I can't give the stat line for JPP does not speak volumes. And in fact, if they would have given him player of the game MVP, it wouldn't have shocked me because that guy. I mean, he didn't even have a quarterback hit. But I bet you he chased him for 350 yards that game.
Right. He's
it was just insane. God.
I hated losing him when he was with it. He was at the Giants. I mean, he is unbelievable. He never tires. The guy is relentless.
Yeah.
And
he's a machine.
Yeah, Winfield. Yeah, he really is. I mean, the guy is even after the game, he doesn't look winded.
No.
He's soaking wet, but man, he's still put me back out there. Game's over.
Yeah.
The game's over.
It's done. You can celebrate now. No, I want to hit something.
I mean, 60 minutes he was going at it. And And Michael brings up a good point. I guess the deuces sign was because Tyreek Hill had 2 touchdowns against him, right?
Well, he was doing it to
he
Whitfield.
threw him up. Yeah, he threw it up.
Right. He threw it up after his second touchdown he had off him.
Mhm.
And then I thought, wow, that's a stupid play. You know what I mean? And then I seen why, and I'm like, okay, that's worth 15 yards when you know the game's in hand. Especially in a Super Bowl.
Yep.
So
yeah.
One hand too, Mike. Good point.
Yeah.
I'm so curious to see like if that talk is going to come back on Andy Reid. Like if people have just completely forgotten about what he was in the Eagles and the reason why he's not the Eagles head coach anymore.
Mm-hmm.
If we're going to, he won a Super Bowl and then he just got destroyed again, just like old Andy Reid. And it took him, it took Patrick Mahomes going ballistic to even win that game. Hey, Travis, thank you.
Trevor Lawrence Simmons, my friend. How are you?
We missed you. You. But Andy Reid, is this going to be a discussion that we're going to have? Is Andy Reid legit as a
not this year, I don't think, Joe, because I think he's going to get a pass because of what happened to his son 2 days before the game. They're not going to bring up the family stuff. I mean, not many people talked about it on any TV shows.
No.
And if that would have been a player, if that would have probably been anybody else, if that would have been Bruce Arians, that would have been talked about because he's not revered like Andy Reid is. I mean, Arians been.
That's absolutely true.
But that's why I think he's going to get a pass this year. I mean, nobody knows how much it affected that team. I don't know, maybe, but I think he's going to get a pass for that. As poorly as they played, and the record the last 3 years. But now that's 3. What's that? 3 AFC championships he's gone to. 1, 2, lost 1. So that's what 5 total he's lost. 2 he's won. No, 3. Was he coaching when the Patriots beat him? He was, right?
For the Eagles?
Yeah. Okay.
I'm sure he was.
So we lost that Super Bowl. This one. Mm-hmm. I mean, kind of like Mike said, it does take a lot to get there. I mean, the guys made it to the – I mean, God, what's that, 5? 8? 7 championship games and 2 Super Bowls.
So the postseason, he's 17-15.
I mean, it's really good. I mean, it is. It's just
played 32 games. But like my brother's saying there.
He's lost almost half of them.
Right. Is Marv Levy a bad coach for losing 4 in a row?
No.
He gets there 4 consecutive years. I mean, I get it. He had Andre Reed and the Terminator, right? And Jim
How did they not win? Cornelius Bennett, Shane Connor.
Bruce Smith. But I mean, I wonder to myself, because the first one was against the Giants, and Scott Nogood misses the kick, right? So if he makes that kick, like we've talked about, if Romo doesn't fumble at snap, right? If Brady doesn't get the tuck, Brady doesn't get the tuck, all of these things that maybe with destiny,
about Brady.
What? With destiny have gone differently. If Norwood makes that kick, did he win the next 3? Did he go on? Are they a dynasty? Or was that after that the wheels just fell off? But they did make it 4 in a row. All through the playoffs, they make it. And the Giants were big underdogs in that opening 1990 Super Bowl. And they go in there and they beat them. I mean, it was like, what, 20-19 or something like that, I think.
Was that O.J. Anderson year? I was always an O.J. Anderson fan, man. Love watching that guy run.
Stuff.
God, his legs were, as probably as wide as my shoulders were. God, I remember that guy was just a monster.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I used to see him. He used to shoot pool in this billiards hall in town here. And you go in there and he'd take up the whole doorway.
Oh, man. I loved watching it. Yeah. And that was back when the running backs had those big front thigh pads. You know what I mean? Yeah. And they just looked overgrown anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Travis isn't giving him a pass.
No, he wasn't last night on Facebook either. He was calling them out, and
I'm looking over his record. So, 2000 they lost to the Giants in the division game. Then the next year they lost in the championship game. Following year lost in the championship game. The year after that lost in the championship game. Then they lost to the Patriots in the Super Bowl. So that's 5 straight years of playoff losses. not being able to do it all. Took a year off, lost in the division the next year, took another year off. Then he lost the NFC Championship game, and then back-to-back lost NFC wildcard games, got fired 2 years later.
And the Eagles had some good teams then, too.
Yes.
There was some dominant teams.
It was 2000.
And they even win the division back-to-back.
Yeah, so 2000
they were wild cards and
11-5, 11-5, 12-4, 12-4, 13-3. And then a 6-10, back to 10-6, 9-6, 11-5, 10-6, lost all of them, couldn't make it. And then with Kansas City, 11-5, lost to the Colts. 11-5, lost to New England. 12-4, lost to the Steelers. 10-6, lost to the Titans. 12-4, lost to New England in the championship game. Then they finally won the Super Bowl, and now 14-2, lost again. So, I mean, he's going in with some pretty impressive records and teams, and it gets to the playoffs and
so Hall of Fame coach.
Yes.
I don't know how you can. I mean, one Super Bowl.
How? I mean,
what's his overall record? You have that there?
Don Shula has one, right? Don Shula has one Super Bowl win, right?
We had the perfect season too. Nobody else had that.
Right, but I mean, you're not getting in off one season.
He's 220. Hang on. Oh, career regular season 221, 130-1. Career 238, 145 and 1. He's a 600 winning percentage.
That's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
But where do you? But that's like saying, like, really, when you talk about quarterbacks, like excellent quarterbacks that have amazing stats and have never won a Super Bowl, it's always like, well, they've never won a Super Bowl, they've never done it in the big game. Are they Hall of Fame worthy?
So he's like 90 games over 500.
Yes.
Okay, how many seasons is that?
Right. I mean, exactly. That's where
He started in 99.
5 seasons over. Yeah, 5 seasons. 5 seasons over 500. Yeah. Come on. I mean,
how many coaches besides Belichick have multiple Super Bowls?
Parcells.
Parcells does, right?
Yep.
Let's think of obviously Vince Lombardi. I mean, that's a no-brainer.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy Johnson, he won 2, correct?
Mm-hmm. Bill Cowher.
Bill Cowher won a couple with Pittsburgh. What about the other Giants coach? Who was the Giants coaches when they beat the Patriots? Was that Coughlin?
Coughlin.
He won both, right? Okay,
Yep.
So there's Coughlin.
Why am I drawing a blank? 49ers.
You're thinking of the Jets. That's why there's nobody.
There's
Tomlin. Yep. Tomlin has 2. The 49ers coach. God.
Why am I can't? I can see his face and I can't.
Jesus, really? We can't think of that guy?
San Fran.
Yeah. He constructed the West Coast offense.
Yeah.
Come on. We're not football fans.
No.
What is his name? Coach Hold on.
Don't look it up. No cheating. No cheating.
I have to. It's driving me crazy.
Walsh. My goodness.
Walsh.
Thank you.
How about Dick Vermeil?
Yeah, Walsh. Thank you, guys. But what I'm getting at is it's not common for coaches to have more than a couple Super Bowl wins. I mean, it's just not. So,
no.
I mean, look at how hard it is to get to the Super Bowl. And again, take away the Patriots' last 20 years. That's not normal. I mean, it's just not. But, I mean, it's just not the norm. It just isn't. So when you look at Andy Reid's record, they may play terribly in Super Bowls and championship games, but they're there every year, you know?
So I guess that goes to show you how good Eli was to win 2.
MVP twice.
You know what?
I mean, you made the argument
guys,
he gets extra credit for beating Belichick twice too.
That's even harder.
I wasn't dropping the F-bomb.
That's even harder.
And I really want to. Shanahan, in Denver. Yep, very true.
So actually, that's surprising. So what are we in Super Bowl? What 55?
55.
And we just rattled off what?
Yeah, we did.
A dozen guys that have won more than once.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's half.
Yeah.
And then you add Belichick. He won 6. Yeah. You know. I mean, that's over half.
Yeah. So almost going back to the beginning, most of the guys that have won it again.
Yeah.
Right? More of them have won it more than once than not.
Yeah. But not Andy Reid.
I wouldn't have thought that until we started mentioning the names.
Well, that's why I kind of brought it up. It's just it's
the
not
other
a common thing.
But you think about Andy Reid's been coaching since 1999. He's the head coach of the Eagles since 99. He's had a long run to get an opportunity to win multiples. Like, how many other teams have had 21-year runs as a head coach to win multiples, and he can't do it? Coughlin didn't have he was there for a long time, but he didn't have that long.
Chuck Noll only won 2, right?
Yeah.
No, wait a minute. Hold on. How many did Chuck Noll win? 4?
So really the list is shorter.
2.
There's only a few guys then that won once only.
Yeah.
Won
twice.
That's the list to try and figure out. Who only won once? The guy from the Jets.
Yeah.
Who was that?
That's it.
It doesn't matter.
Weeb Eubanks? Who was the guy?
It was. Yeah.
Was
it really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Harbaugh?
I thought he was a game show host.
No.
Did I?
No.
He may next year when he goes to the Giants.
Harbaugh, right?
Robert Saleh's about to get a couple.
Yeah. You know that guy Joe Judge? Yeah.
he might as well. He
already has his, Jim. He already has his.
Not as a head coach, though, but yeah.
So
that's something we're gonna have to look at.
Where I was kind of going with this, though. So think about the NFC next year. So you got Green Bay, right? Green Bay is always going to be there. You get Tampa Bay. Drew Brees is gone, more than likely. He just reconstructed that thing, so he's going to be retired. Depending on who they get there. Stafford went to L.A. I think it's an upgrade. I do. Do I think they're going to win the championship? I mean, I don't know. McCarthy's only won one.
I thought he did.
The NFC is tough, though.
Well, it is until you get to the playoffs. And, I mean, Seattle's defense isn't great. I mean, we don't know.
Is good.
It is, but I mean, we show what happens when you only have a good offense, so what? The Rams, Minnesota, you can't count on Minnesota, even though they got the players.
No,
49ers.
It depends who's. I mean, can they stay healthy?
Back.
Yeah, but I mean, they just lost their D coordinator too.
Right.
So I mean, that's going to be totally different. Yeah. So Brady has a really good chance to get into the NFC Championship again. You could almost pencil it in, depending on who they lose in free agency. Because New Orleans is done. I mean, Atlanta, who else you worried about in the NFC? Carolina, you're not. Who?
I know Jim wants to say the Giants real bad.
Can you see this sign over here to my right?
Look, Jim, we're talking legit chances here. I mean,
what are you talking about? We almost beat Tampa this year. You remember 38-35 and they didn't call a flag? Remember that when Brady got the no call?
Well,
for the win?
when you've got Saquon and Devontae Smith next year.
It was week 4.
Ooh, Devontae Smith.
That's going to be a nice addition to have Smith and Saquon back.
Oh yeah.
But I
see a lot of drafts that he's fallen to the Giants. There's
a lot of guys. Like I said, no matter who's available when we come up, there's a lot of guys out there right now that are going to be big improvements for our team. Right? If it is him, if it is a rusher, if it is Pitts, there's so many guys we could plug in right now that are going to be an improvement. I'm excited for it to happen already. Just fast forward to April 29th.
Scary too.
Yes,
I mean, Stafford going to the Rams. They got the D at least for another year.
I'm not worried about Stafford.
And they're also looking at Marvin Jones is saying that he wants to play with them. Can you imagine Jones on that team too? Cup, him, Woods. I mean, good tight ends.
I mean, but he's got to stay healthy, right? I mean, can Stafford stay healthy? The guy gets beat up all the time.
I mean, he's only missed last 2 seasons ago, and before that, he played like 8 straight years. So I don't know. I think the Rams, but if you start looking at teams to kind of push,
John. Pull your microphone closer.
Can you hear me now?
There you go.
It's just super echoey.
Is it? My bad. My bad. But yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at next year. Who do you guys think is going to be there? Let's take a wag at it.
So if you're looking
Arizona?
at the East,
you sure did.
I mean, are they going to be strong enough? Is Arizona going to be strong enough?
No.
Depends what Kyler can do.
I'm not sold on Kyler Murray.
You know, you look at even the Eagles, right? Is Wentz gonna get traded? They keep talking about it every day. It's in the paper. He's gonna be traded any minute, any day, any hour here, and he's still on the Eagles. So I don't know what's happening. They want to,
but nobody's going to take that salary on.
No, I know.
It's just stupid.
I mean, so Washington. Who's the quarterback next year? I have no idea. Is Smith coming back? Right, he got comeback player of the year. That was a great honor to see him get that.
It should be, yeah.
So
it should be called the Alex Smith Comeback Player of the Year.
Hell yeah! I mean, who else can do that?
No, nobody. Insane. No. Did you guys get to watch that documentary yet?
I saw part of it. I didn't see the whole thing.
Oh God, incredible!
Dallas. What's Dallas doing? Is Dak going to be back? Is he going to be ready to go?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
You're right. But it depends on who Tampa loses. I get everyone wants to stay. So it's funny because now we talk about, I've been saying, if I'm the enemy, I'm not leaving the Chiefs. Oh, well, you want to go for the money. Now you're saying, no, nobody's going to leave. So if one of the other teams offer Godwin more money or Sue or any of those guys that are free agents that we listed, what, you're going to tell me they're not going to take the money now?
No, of course they are.
They got the ring.
They're leaving. They're leaving.
That's what I mean.
They have a better chance. So are they going to leave to go to Detroit or someplace, Chicago, or one of these teams that aren't going anywhere?
Well,
they offer them.
Look at Jacksonville, the Jets, the Patriots. They got a lot of money. They got a lot of money to spend.
Is anyone leaving the Bucs to go to the Jets?
No,
I think so. I absolutely think so because they've got their ring now. It's
come on, man.
Now it's time to secure that future. They're just going to. Their teams are going to overpay. The Jets, Jaguars, the Patriots, they're going to pay to bring in a couple of these key players. And are you going to pass up a $10 million difference in pay?
When you've already win or lose,
when you've already got the ring, you've got it. Now you can secure money for the rest of your life, for your kid's life. What do you do?
There's something to that. Yes, I get it.
I mean,
I'd love to get Shaq Barrett. Yeah, Shaq Barrett can come on up. I'll take him.
I think Tampa would sign Barrett before Godwin.
I think
100%. 100%.
I think so too.
Yep.
That would be, to me, that's an easy call to let Godwin leave. I think Godwin's very good.
He's not a game changer.
But no, he is not a number one. He just isn't. I think Brady said he was going back there. So at least that's what he said last night.
2 year? Didn't he get a 2 year?
Yeah, but it's a second year that he can opt out, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of players on that team that's got to make a decision on
which
what they
one,
want to do.
Travis, you talking about? You talking about signing Barrett over Godwin? With those offensive weapons already on the team, I would.
Yeah.
So don't you think Brady's talking to, probably even this morning, hey, listen, to Arians and senior leadership, listen, if you want me back, this guy stays, you got to figure it out. You got to restructure, whatever you got to do. Otherwise, I'm not staying. You want me to stay? These are my demands. You don't think he's doing that? You don't think he's going to be involved? Unlike Watson when they let Hopkins go,
I'm sure he will.
He's definitely going to be involved in the conversation.
No, Evans is restructuring. Evans says he's going to restructure his contract already to sign other players. So you're going to pay Godwin $15 million? I wouldn't, because that's what he's going to have to get to stay.
Yeah. Right? How many catches? How many TDs did he have this year?
I mean, he towards the end of the season. Oh, he's excellent. But I mean, do you have to have him to win? I think you need Shaq Barrett, team him with White. And I mean, that's who I would rather have. Anchor that defense. You got offense.
Man, that guy.
Oh, God. He's
him and Blake Martinez side by side. I'll take that.
Yeah, he looked good. So
exactly.
he had 84 or 65 catches, 840 yards, 7 touchdowns.
I just don't think he's a number one. I don't think he's.
And he missed a couple games too, right?
Yeah.
He played 12 games. So yeah, he missed a few.
Mm-hmm.
And he's played with some really good quarterbacks. I mean, Winston and then Brady. I mean,
wait, you just told me Winston wasn't a good quarterback.
That's right.
He's a good. He had 30 touchdowns and 5,000. What I'm saying was he's not winning a Super Bowl. You don't win a Super Bowl with 30 interceptions, but the guy did throw for 5K yards and 30 touchdowns. He does drop too many balls.
He does.
He does. He'll be somewhere else. So somebody will overpay him, and he's going to take the money.
I mean, I'll take him on the Pats. We have no one else.
Yeah.
Sign him. I'd be happy.
Yeah. So I mean, here let's run this through. So Shaquille Barrett, unrestricted free agent. Levante David, unrestricted free agent.
Here's another one.
These are all unrestricted free agents. I don't know what you say.
Yeah.
Gronk, Ndamukong Suh, Steve McClendon, Joe Haig, Leonard Fournette, Antonio Brown. If anybody wants Ryan Griffin, backup quarterback, I don't know. Blaine Gabbert too. Oh my God, they're losing all their backup quarterbacks. Shady, Ryan Suckup, and then it kind of Chris Godwin.
Travis, I would love that.
That's about
Kenny Golladay.
That's about all of them. But I mean,
only two I would want on a list: Barrett and David. That's it.
Barrett, Brown.
I don't care
David,
about Brown.
Antonio Brown. Brady does.
He can have him. I wouldn't want him on the Giants. Just like
on the Giants.
I wouldn't want Sue either.
I thought you meant back on Tampa. My bad.
No, I'm talking about. I'm talking about.
But here's the thing:
Sue's not going anywhere. He's already made his money, man. He's already paid.
Barrett and Dave. So Barrett was paid $15.8 million this year, and David $10 million. I mean, are they going to take pay cuts? No. Are they going to go make a ton of money?
That's why I think pay Barrett, let David go. You still have White.
Yeah.
You re-sign Brown. You re-sign Gronk. You could probably get Gronk fairly cheap now. I mean, he was cheap this year. What was he? 5 million, 10 million?
Gronk was 9.
9. Okay. So you offer him 6 or 7 to play one more. Maybe you sign Fournette to a like a 2-year 25 or something like that. I don't know. Definitely keep Barrett though. I mean, I think their top priority should be Shaq Barrett. Team him with David. That linebacking core is sick. Absolutely sick.
Yeah.
So it says their cap space is $38 million.
Okay, so that's not a lot.
That's not a lot.
So does Brady restructure like he did in New England?
Maybe.
Does he? Does he care about the $25 million?
No, he doesn't need the money.
No.
He doesn't need the money.
His salary is $15 million.
Who, Brady's? Should be 25.
His base salary, he's got a $10 million roster bonus.
Okay, there's the 25 then.
And 3.375 in miscellaneous, whatever they
gotcha.
Pro Bowls and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
So
JPP, he's not a free agent. What has he got? Another year? He's got
the way he looked last night, he looked like he was 22 again.
Holy cow! He signed him for 5 more.
Yeah.
Guy's still he's under contract for 2021 at least for 12.5 mil. So yeah, he's still signed. He's locked up. You're not getting him back. Let's see.
I mean, they have a chance to really stack that team again, you know, and who knows who else is going to be released and need a home and just wants to go for a quick 1 year, $5-10 million contract. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's going to be the same for some of these other teams. You know, the Rams are already talking. Players are already talking about going to the Rams. You know, when Marvin Jones said that, I was like, wow, he wants to play with Stafford again. I mean, him, Woods, and Kupp, and like Travis was saying, and Akers came on. That's a scary team. Tyler Higbee at tight end. I mean, that's
defense. Their defense is no joke either.
Yeah, they get the same D. I don't know how they afford all these guys, but whatever. You know?
I don't know either. Hey, Jacob, thanks for joining. We haven't seen you in a while. Welcome back, man. Welcome back. Not going to happen, but
2022. Hey. We're going to make a run at it.
We'll see what this draft does for them.
That's right.
They need if they draft big, maybe. JPP has 1 year left. So he's got 1 year left on the contract. So and then he's hitting the market. I wonder if a Giants reunion's in store. Exposure to COVID through college, huh? Well, I hope you're feeling okay, bud.
Yeah, hope you're feeling good.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's rough stuff. Huh?
It's no fun. So, all right. Yeah. I think you're probably right, John. I hate to say it, but they have a pretty damn good chance of repeating because it's just, I think the NFC West is just, a drag out slugfest. All 4 of those teams are good, and you see them beat the crap out of each other, and somebody's going to knock each other out of the playoffs there. I don't think the NFC East is ready to take that step to really be competitive. I think that whole division is still rebuilding. They still need pieces all around. Green Bay in the North, the Bears are going to get worse. The Vikings, you can't count on. The Lions are the Lions. And there's nobody else in the South you have to worry about.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, especially with, the Falcons you're not scared of.
No.
The Panthers you're not afraid of. And the Saints, I think, are going to be dismantled because even with that cut, they still have to clear almost $80 million of salary cap, even with Drew Brees helping them out and restructuring down to $1 million. How are you going to clear $80 million off your salary cap and still be competitive? And now guess what? You don't have a quarterback. You don't have Drew Brees anymore. So
that's right.
What are you going to do?
You got to do something else. And even the Falcons are like, we want Ryan and Jones back. It's like, you know what? It hasn't worked, right? So when do you say, okay, time for something new? Let's trade Ryan now. Well, maybe you can still get something for him, or Jones, or both. Yeah, because you haven't done it, right? You had it one, and then you laid down and let Brady come back. But
I don't think.
I think they got to.
I've had the argument that Julio Jones is overrated for.
Right, he can't make it through a season. He's always got hamstring problems.
Constant. And then what does he do? He'll have like 2 300-yard games and then a bunch of 40, 50-yard games and then an explosive 300-yard games. Pads his stats. He'll put up 1,000 yards because he has 2 300-yard games and a couple of 100-yard games. Right. And then the rest are just gone. 40 yards, 50 yards, 60 yards.
I'll take him.
I would love if you guys absorb that contract that he has and take him. And
I would love to see him, but Jim, you make a good point. Trade them to you get Calvin Ridley. He's younger.
Right.
You know what I mean? Who they sign?
You're drafting
for tight
fourth.
End. Yeah, you're drafting fourth. Take a quarterback. Get somebody.
Quarterback. Right. Get trade Ryan now.
You know what would be scary? Ryan on Indy. I wouldn't mind seeing that. I wonder how he would do on Indy or Chicago. But
that's Chicago, right? That's what I was going to say.
He sure does. Ridley does kill targets. You have to give Ridley that.
Yeah.
But where's Allen Robinson going to go? Because wherever he goes,
or could Ryan?
That's where he's going.
Something just happened to that.
No, the feed's working fine.
Oh, okay. I thought we lost the signal. What about Ryan to the Saints?
Ooh.
You think they would go in division?
In division?
Oh. I mean, it depends what they could get. I don't know what Saints have for draft capital. But
the Saints, we already said, have to chop up their team, right?
No, but then you got to absorb Ryan's gigantic contract.
He's like 28 to 30, I think, million. So
he's up. Yeah, he's got a very expensive.
But that would be interesting, though.
Indoor quarterback.
No, I mean the Colts are. That's a scary thought, to be honest.
Right, that's another dome, right?
Well, that's where Wentz is supposedly going. He's getting traded to.
They're talking about the Bears.
The Bears,
the Bears, and with Foles as part of the package to come back to Philly.
Jesus,
that's what they're saying.
Poor Foles.
I mean, what is he going to do? So you're going to have Foles back up Wentz in Chicago? Chicago again? You got
Foles will be playing by week 9.
Yeah,
and then he leads him to the Super Bowl.
That would be insane.
Yeah.
I don't think the Giants will go after Allen Robinson. I don't see them attacking wide receiver and free agent.
Yep.
Yeah, I think because somebody's going to be there at 12. Pitts, Waddle, Smith.
Yep.
One of those three should fall to 12.
Yep.
I would think. If not, you're getting an awesome. Somebody's going to fall. That's going to be like you're not supposed to be there. Like Isaiah Simmons with Arizona last year, where they're like, "Why are you still sitting here? I guess we'll take you." That would be the best case. If you miss out on those 3 offensive weapons, you're getting somebody that should not have made it out of the top 6 probably at that point. But I think that's your draft. As much as you want to have a big name wide receiver come to town, I think it's going to be through the draft.
Right, like you said, Odell's working out with Saquon, right? They bring. I couldn't stand him here, but I hope they don't.
I'm not an Odell fan. I'm just not. He makes some great highlight catches. But...
Yeah, I see him in the same Julio Jones category.
Yeah,
disappears off the face of the earth, has an explosive 200-yard, 3 touchdown game, and then he's gone again.
And he's a head case. He's a head case. So
yeah, I hope Simmons. Yeah, I couldn't believe he was falling like that, and then Arizona was just like, "Oh, we're putting a stop to that." That was crazy, just insane. But that happens every year. Every year, it's somebody.
Really, you want Odell back? I mean,
Jacob,
that great catch against Dallas, that highlight reel catch, but man, there was so many bad games. I have his jersey upstairs. I just don't wear it.
Yeah, for good reason.
It's in my closet.
Yeah. I don't think he's. You've got weapons there on the offensive side. I don't think you need to go after a big name wide receiver. You just need to get production out of Shepard.
Right.
You need you need consistency out of Ingram. You've got the guys there. You need more. So I'm telling you, with Jones or Waddle, even Pitts, Saquon back, Evan Ingram, Shepard. Who's the?
Don't
other
say
one?
Golden Tate. Don't say
not Golden Tate. Who's your other boy, John? That you love?
Slayton, Darius Slayton.
Thank you. Oh. I mean, you pair those guys up. That's a nice offense. If Jones can't do it with that,
right?
You're back in the quarterback. You're back in the quarterback
draft
next
year. Right. If we do draft a receiver and we can't win with Jones, then it's time to look elsewhere.
Yeah,
that's going to be rough.
Yeah.
If Jones doesn't pan out, boy, that's a 4-year friggin'. That's a Jets situation.
That's what most of the NFL is, to be honest. I mean,
right.
That.
We haven't really done that. I mean, we've had long-term Eli, and Kerry Collins, and Kurt Warner, and Phil Simms. I mean, we've had guys that have come in and stayed.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And, I'm not looking to start that carousel, but
it's not fun. I can tell you, it's not a fun one to be on. It really isn't. You want to get off, but you can't figure out exactly where you should jump off because everything's doing this all around you, and so it's a disaster.
Yeah, I did hear Eli was going to be some kind of special advisor or something on the Giants. I don't know if it's a coach, but I did hear he was working out something, some way to work on with the team.
Yeah, I mean that's even a good pick too. Is focusing on the offensive line.
Hell yeah!
You need to do that to give Saquon some holes and some breathing room, and give Jones some time to throw. You don't need to be signing wide receivers for big money. Offensive line,
right?
And you're good to go. I mean, quarterback coach. I
didn't hear that.
I don't know. Anyway, all right. So we are going long. So we better wrap this up before we run out of time.
So did Brady win another Super Bowl though? He did, right?
He definitely bought himself a Super Bowl.
Love him.
Yeah.
Love him.
It hurts. It hurts. It still hurts.
Crazy.
But
I wonder if he's going to fill up both hands, like including the thumbs,
like Yogi Berra did.
Yeah. I seen a thing today comparing Yogi Berra. I'm like that. I mean, if anybody, you need to mention Bill Russell because Bill Russell's won more than anybody. If you want to talk most championships, it's Bill Russell. So it has absolutely no bearing on football. It's two totally different sports.
Well, talk about today too. Serena Williams has like 23 Grand Slams.
Yeah.
And I'm no, I don't think that's the same thing.
No. Peter Sampras and all these guys, you know what I mean? It's like
because Brady couldn't win the games by himself. It was everybody else who won the games for him. He just happened to be along for the ride.
I mean, it's a coincidence, Joe. It is. It's a coincidence that Brady's gone to 10 Super Bowls. It must be a coincidence.
It is a coincidence.
It's not, and the Jets are still terrible.
You'll be there soon, my friend. Do you know
I've had
Braden
20 years. What's that?
Do you know Braden? He's got to be a Pats fan.
Congrats
Braden
to Tom
Weaver. What's up, Braden?
No? Braden, a new subscriber, joining us for the first time, hopefully.
Welcome.
I wonder, is he a Pats fan or a Bucks fan or just a Brady fan?
The refs won the game.
Stop it,
that's what we were talking about earlier, Jacob.
So Brady on the Jags and they win the Super Bowl. Well,
Give him 2
he's the
years,
GOAT.
they will. Give him 2 years.
He's the GOAT. So per GOAT standards, whatever team he goes to, he should be able to win it all because nobody's better than him. I'm just saying he should be able to do it.
You finally accepted that.
Wow.
It's so good to hear, Joe. That a boy.
He can't. That's my argument earlier. If he was on New England this year and he's the GOAT, New England should have won the Super Bowl this year. And that's why New England fans should be so upset because Brady's the GOAT. Brady is the GOAT. If he's the GOAT, he should have been able to win it with New England.
Joe, what have you been saying all year about?
He had to go to the best offense in football and almost best
Actually, it
defense in
wasn't the best offense in football. They were ranked number 5.
Well, yeah, it's because Brady was the quarterback, but the weapons
What do you mean?
were.
So they weren't the best offense in football. They were
had
actually
the best offensive.
They were actually
weapons.
the worst ranked offense out of the 4 teams in the championship games.
Eli be in the hospital.
He would.
Oh,
He
my
absolutely would. Eli couldn't run like 6 feet.
Giants
He
12-5 due to 17.
They are talking about 17 games. I hope they do it.
Yeah. Yeah, that
You don't think you don't want it? Three preseason games and add an extra regular season in?
I hate the preseason.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd rather
Especially
just
when
get
a
rid
guy
of
pulls his
preseason.
knee out in the preseason, he's out for the season. It's like, come on.
Right. So just make it a game instead.
Right.
That actually counts.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
much rather see
Are
that.
they going to get another bye week, or are they actually going to put another?
I don't know.
I don't think so. I think they're just adding one extra game. I mean, it's not like they have any contact during practice or preseason anyway, so it's all touch, and I would have got you if I could have tackled you.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Pull the flag out the belt. There you
Right.
go.
And then they need to just readdress we got to get into that in the offseason is readdress our penalty conundrum and try and push that with we get some more viewers in here. We're gonna jump on that and attack that.
Yeah,
that really
has to happen.
Yeah. We got to start a movement and we're going to do it together. And it's going to be called the Bean Apple Rule.
Yeah.
It's going to be awesome. And you guys are going to be part of it. You're going to watch and they'll be like, Bean Apple Rule, 15-yard penalty. And you're going to be like, I did that. Yeah.
That's right.
I'm super excited for that. Anyway. All right, guys. So let's wrap it up.
Yep.
Going super long. Jacob, Travis, any of our new subscribers and new viewers today that joined us.
Is that right? The Giants play the Jets next year? So we play the AFC East?
No, that was 2 years ago. That shouldn't be on the rotation again. Last year we played.
I'd like to play the AFC East next year. Pats and Jets? 2 wins.
We played them last year. Anyway. So, yeah.
Good night,
again,
Travis.
Guys, seriously, thank you. Thank you for being so active tonight. That was awesome. I mean, chat's just absolutely filled up. So thank you for joining us, taking some time out to share it with us and talk about the game. Please, if you're watching for the first time, hit that subscribe button. Catch us every week. We're live. You could always jump into the chat at any time. Also, drop your comments below on what you thought of the game. If you think Brady earned that MVP or not, definitely want to hear what the overwhelming fan response is to that. So take a few minutes, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell, hit the like, and drop a comment. Let us know what you thought of that game. And until next week, we'll reconvene and have another sports getaway together. So for John, for Jim, I'm Joe. We'll see you guys next week.